Right off the bat, I'm 33. I'm about 20 pounds heavier than I was 3.5, 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago. In that time, I got married. We've had a child, and we have a mortgage now, and like the responsibility of life has made physical uh, exercise and just wellness and just like actually more like being in shape a little bit more challenging. And I completely get it, and I have sympathy for all the dads out there. I mean, I have one child. I know people two, three, four, five. It's like I don't know how you do it. I'm still like in the zone right now with one, or like I'm in the storm in a way. 5 months in, but I to me it's you get time for what you prioritize, and if something's important to you, you'll find it. And physical wellness is important to me because it's not a vanity thing. I realized it wasn't a vanity thing when I was 24, 25 years old working at a restaurant. And the nights that I would work out before my shift, I'd make a lot more money. And I just have a better shift. I'd be happier, I'd be sharper, make more money, just better energy. Like everything was better. I was just a better version of myself. And then the nights that I wouldn't, I was just, you know, I was sloppy. And that was the microcosm for all of life. And that was the paradigm shift that I was like, oh, okay, working out and exercise is not about creating a body that looks good. It's a that's well down the list of hierarchy for why you should work out. And so as we continue to grow and like live and stuff, like sometimes working out falls to the wayside. And I've always had some sort of routine in these last couple of months, but it hasn't been enough to put me at a deficit or at a sustainability thing. So I'm training for a marathon right now because I'm like, I need to put myself out there. I need to do a challenge, and not let myself get comfortable with this lifestyle, with, hey, this is just how life is. I'm 33. To me, that's still young. Some people are like, oh, I'm something I hate is when people are like, oh, I'm just like, we're just not how I used to be, or like, I'm just getting so old, or like, and these are people, my peers, 30, early 30s, they're saying this. Even people in their 40s, like, bro, you are allowing your body to break down when you have beliefs like that. You're giving permission to your body. And I don't know all the spiritual sides and everything like that, but it's a whole cascading effect. And I know people that are in their late 50s still running sub 230 marathons. So what's the difference? The difference is the mindset, and how then that mindset informs the actions on what you do with your body. So the mindset I'm taking is I'm just coming into my prime right now. Like I'm 33. I like we compare ourselves to these NFL superstars, and 33 is old in those terms. Well, I'm not an NFL superstar. I'm Danny Green. And so I'm going to compare myself to what I believe I could still become. And I could still become someone that hasn't even touched their prime yet. That's what I believe. And so as I'm on these runs, I'm listening to these documentaries about ultra marathons, and I'm listening to the winners, and I'm understanding what makes them tick and how they think about it. And all of them run into a wall at some point where they're like, I don't know how I'm going to keep going. And that is across the board. There hasn't been one doc yet on these ultras where the runner was just like, hey, I've been feeling good this whole time, and I'm just going to keep it going, and boom, boom, like we're good. And wow, what a happy ending. I won the race. No, these things are grinds. And that's why I love running, is because it's an allegory for life. Some people think life is, we're just supposed to have it figured out. Like at some point we're going to reach a certain age and we're going to figure it out. And then everything's just going to be smooth. But life is a constant, it's an ultra marathon. Life is an ultra marathon. And there's going to be sections of the race that you feel great. And there's going to be sections of the race that are very painful, feel unbearable. But we keep pushing forward. That's what we do. We don't give up. Even if you have to stop on the trail and sleep, which a lot of these people do, which sounds absurd. But they pull off on the side of a mountain and start sleeping. I mean, after like 3 days of running straight, no sleep, like I get it. Like, yeah, I get it. I'm on these runs and I just have these visions, and I feel like they're visions from God about what I still am capable of. I still have so much in the tank. I haven't even scratched the surface. And I think about where I've come from and the growth I've experienced over these last couple years. And we just have this propensity to believe that wherever we are now is our ceiling. But we are on a trajectory. And so if you keep putting in the work, you keep with the mindset, you keep cultivating, you keep building and growing, we're going to be somewhere else that we can't even imagine. And that's, I mean, I'm like starting to talk a little slower because I'm almost working this out as I talk, but that's why goal setting and vision setting is so important, because we need to have inspiration of what we could become. And I'm feeling that right now with these 100 milers. I'm thinking to myself, man, right now, how on earth would I be able to run 100 miles? How would I be able to do Leadville? But I'm starting to hang out with these ultra marathoners on my runs. And I'm starting to get a sense for, hey, they're not that much different than I. Like, they run a lot more. They've been doing it longer. Their mindset is stronger. Technically, they have more information. Like, they've educated themselves more on all the stuff that's necessary. But they're flesh and blood. I'm flesh and blood. Some of these runners that are doing it are mid-40s. So that's where it's coming back. It's like I'm just starting to come into my prime. I got this marathon coming up in October, which I've mentioned, and it's like, okay, this is actually not the end. Sometimes we sign up for these events and call it a Misogi or whatever. You do something hard and you think, oh, I'm going to do it and then I'm going to be done. But what if you did it and this was just the beginning? What if you flip the mindset where it's like, hey, I've been putting in all this work to go do this physical challenge, and it's only the start. And so however that performance goes, it doesn't really matter. Like, I want to do well, but this is the first of many, because it's a lifestyle change. And it's something deep within my soul, in my DNA, that won't allow me to coast. It won't allow me to not try to push harder and see what I can accomplish and see what I'm capable of. And I'm addicted to growth. I've felt this way since 24, 25. There was a clear paradigm shift after I came back from my Latin America trip. I backpacked down Costa Rica, Panama, and Colombia for 4-ish months. I came back from that trip and I wasn't as interested in partying. Almost not at all. I wasn't interested in the things of the world as much. I was interested in reading books. I was interested in listening to podcasts and ended up getting into sermons. And my I've been on this personal development journey that I haven't compared to anybody else, because you don't talk about these types of things with people. It comes out, it kind of flows out of you, things that you've learned, wisdom that you've picked up, frameworks. Here and there, you'll be able to drop something. But most of what I've picked up over these last, gosh, 8, 9 years has worked as osmosis, and it's seeped into my being. And for me to try to describe what how I've changed is nearly impossible. I don't have the words for it. I want to have the words for it. I don't have the words for it. And people don't ask about it. Not that I want to tell everybody about it, but it's like, it's just hard to describe this fire, this the way I see the world. It's hard to describe that sometimes. And I feel understood, and I feel like I've come across people that have that similar fire and desire that is hard to be described, but then they go do these things. And they're like, oh, you wouldn't be doing these types of things if you didn't have it. And it makes me want to go do it, because I see a piece of them that I really admire, and I recognize that I'm like, oh, I might have some of that raw material too. Yeah, belief in yourself has been the most powerful level up over the last 8, 9 months. We moved into this house in January. First house we'd ever, wife or I had ever owned. Always rented before that, and it felt like a big jump. Um, Basically, since we've been married, like, our rent has always been affordable through just different situations. It's just the rent has never really made us feel uncomfortable. But this one, taking on the mortgage, um, it was at the time of our purchase on the edge of what we could qualify for, and our monthly income, it was probably like 35%, 40%. It was 40 plus percent, because yeah, it's like the 40% rule of whatever the mortgage. That was, we had to be under that. So I was like, we're pushing it. And I just had belief that as I grow my business, like, I'm going to just keep growing. I had belief that I'm going to figure this out. And I felt like I was on the edge, that I was putting together the tools. I was putting together the skill set and the mindset to go get business. I just felt like I could do this. But at the time, it was January, slow season, and I just dove into programming and audio programs and videos and books and everything to rewire my mind so that I wasn't so scared, so fearful. I rewired my mind to have faith. And that has been, um, so far, it's turned out. I'm not on the other side necessarily, but it's I don't think there is a side. It's a muscle that you continually exercise. And my muscle of faith has grown, And if I don't press in and continue working it, I see myself atrophying. And so I have been locked in a beautiful way, in a sustainable way. I've been locked in. I've been with, I didn't turn off my social life. I didn't turn off my family life. I have just been locked in with the practices of what makes somebody, what creates longevity. And that's living holistically, and it's not shooting yourself in the foot, whether it lifestyle choices, or shooting yourself in the foot with not following through, or shooting yourself in the foot with not taking that step of calling that person when you think there might be a sale or something, on the other side of this. And you don't make that call. You create all these stories like, hey, I don't want to be needy. I don't want to try to sell them something. I don't think they really need this. Like you come up with all these reasons and stories for why you don't need to do something, but then you don't make any progress, and you wonder why you're feeling stressed and why things aren't working out, and why it's just like, dude, there's a balance, and you got to be a full human being in the way that 7 equities, your spirit, your faith, your family, your finances, your friends, your hobbies, whatever. Like, I don't know what all the 7 equities are off top, but anyways, that's the update here. So just because not a lot of people talk about it, I'm going to just mention this last thing is I haven't drank since mid-December of 24. So it's been 8.5 months. And that's huge. That's probably the biggest way, the keystone. If there was a what's the keystone vice? If there's a keystone vice, and what I mean by keystone is something that trickles down and permeates other aspects of your life. By doing this one thing, it actually affects almost all of your life. That you can have keystone habits, like reading or running. These are keystone, one thing that affects everything. But the vices also do. And they can just take you backwards, or they can just make it like your shoes are tied. And so getting rid of that keystone vice has been monumental. It affects your belief majorly. And these are the types of things where it's hard to describe your belief, because belief in yourself is such a trite cliche thing, but it's something you feel. It's internalized. Belief is internalized. It's not about what you tell somebody that you believe in yourself. It's not that doesn't do anything. It's about what you know within you. And that's why, like, I don't even feel a desire to drink, but if I even felt a desire to have one drink, that would be detrimental, because now that's a little hole in my hot air balloon. And you might still be able to stay afloat, but you got a hole in your hot air balloon now. It's the hole in the it's like, hey, you weren't disciplined enough. You gave in. You didn't stick to your guns. And I'm not saying I'm never gonna drink again, but in this season, I felt like I had a word from the Lord that I'm set apart. And other people, it's not bad for people to drink or be, social and, have some glasses of wine. That's not bad at all. But for me personally, I feel like I've been set apart, and the drinking is my enemy. The drinking is my enemy. So just, yeah, it's one of those things. Anyways, I think that's the brain dump. We've been going for 22 minutes. I think that's the brain dump. It feels good to capture something. Go earn your dopamine.